I'm Winnie Means, and I taught this painting at Christmas time, and I want to convert it now into a more Valentine sort of painting. So that's what I'm going to do in this video. The supplies you need are something to paint on, so some art paper. I actually used a canvas because I want to put it up in our house. And I used acrylic paint, so you need something to squeeze your paints onto. I often use a paper plate. The paints I used are red, Mars black, so this is cadmium red. I used like a light blue, but you can use any blue as long as you have white to make it lighter. Yellow, brown, green, and white. Let's start by drawing our car. So we're going to find the center, and we're going to come up a little bit from the bottom of your page, and we're going to draw our bumper. So we're just going to do a big curve. So that's the bumper. And kind of make sure that it's equal. Kind of play with it because the whole base of your car is going to be from here. And then I'm going to do a curve and a curve. And then I'm going to do the rest of the bumper like that. Very good. Okay, next I'm going to do a curve. Coming up from the bumper, I'm going to do a curve and a curve. That's the sides of the car. Okay, and we're going to finish this all the way off like that. Now we're going to draw the top of the car. So we're going to do, so come in a little bit. So we have this curve and we come in a little bit on both sides. And then we're going to draw a curve. Here we go. Ready? Draw a curve. Great. And then inside of there, I'm going to draw another kind of curve and then a line. That's the back window. Great. Okay, now from here, we're going to do a diagonal line. So this is kind of the trunk. And you can do the license plate. I'm going to let it say love or whatever kind of Valentine message you want to put there. And I'm going to do a little heart on top. Great. We can do our lights. So just a line and a curve and a line and a curve. Great. And then we're going to do the tires. So the tires can kind of start from here and just curve. Start from here and curve. Eventually we're going to do sort of tire marks like that. So instead of doing presents, I mean, you're welcome to put presents here. You can make them look like Valentine chocolates or presents and make them pink and red. But I think I'm going to do balloons. I thought that would be kind of fun. Balloons sort of coming out maybe of a sunroof. Let's try it and see what we think. We could do one sort of coming this way. We could have another one coming up like that. I kind of like this because it kind of fills the space nicely too. There we go. That's cute. And there we'll have like a little sunroof. We'll make this kind of darker. Love it. Okay, now we're going to make the road. So you can kind of make yours. I'm just going to kind of make the horizon line first. So my ruler's not quite long enough, but that's okay. I'll make it carry on. So I'm just going to sort of do however much road you want. I guess I'll come maybe where that heart is, and I'll just do a straight line and jump. A straight line, and I'm just going to carry it along. Great. And then when the road in art, if you have a road or a sidewalk that's straight on like this, you want it to go on an angle because as the road gets further and further, it looks like it's going towards a point. So 1 point discrimination. So we're going to do a diagonal line on each side for the road. So it will look like it is. Try and get them kind of a similar angle. There, that's great. This is fun. Okay, now I'm going to maybe do some trees because we need to fill in this space. You can put whatever you want. I'm gonna put a big tree here, so just a line with some curves coming off of it. And I think I'm gonna make my tree pink just to make it more kind of Valentine-y. And then since 3 is more interesting to the eye, I'm going to do 2 more over here, but they're gonna be different heights. So we have 3 trees all together, whatever you can fit in. Try and make it so they're not exactly the same height. Make this one a little taller maybe. Yeah, and we're kind of gonna cover that up when we paint the background, and then we'll add them in again. We just sort of want an idea of where they're gonna be. That's great. Okay, our drawing is all done. So I'm going to outline mine with a fine Sharpie, and you are welcome to do that if you want, or just leave it the way it is and just start painting. Outlined everything, and now I'm going to do my blue background. So I'm going to do it quite a light blue. So I have this kind of light blue and white on my palette. Any kind of blue you can use. Just use lots of white to lighten it because you really want your car to stand out. So I'm going to take some blue. You can do this with a paintbrush too. And I'm going to use lots of white, and then I get kind of a lighter blue color. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Maybe even lighter. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so now I'm gonna fill my whole background with that. So I got water on my brush, and I'm getting some paint on my brush, and I'm gonna go right over those trees, and I'm just gonna do strokes like this, and you can kind of trace around your car. I'm gonna try and go around the balloons, so I'll do those later. And you can see I'm going all one way. And another fun idea is to get the blue and a little bit of white on your brush at the same time. And then you sort of get, oh, I guess I'm going over those hearts. That's okay. We'll bring them back later, as long as you can kind of see them a little bit to be able to trace around them. Yeah, it's probably hard to go over those. So I'm getting white and blue on my brush, and I'm just going back and forth, back and forth. And I'm gonna get a little bit more white. So I pick up some blue, and I pick up some white, and then you might get a little, yeah, that's what I kind of wanted, some little streaks in the sky to make it more interesting. And you can go around your car. Yeah, those hearts will come back. We'll just paint right over them. Later, when this is all dry, I'm gonna go around our, so that's the only time you have to be like super careful. It's when you're going around the car like that. And I'm gonna keep going. Like that. And if you're painting a canvas, make sure you paint your edges. I always forget to do this. So just paint your edges. I'm going to do mine the same colors that I have in my painting, but you can also do edges that are like black or brown, whatever you want to do. Like to go with the decor in your house or... All right, I'm going to keep going with these edges. Clean my brush really well, and now I'm going to do this part as snow. But if you wanted this to be springtime, you could do it as green grass, whatever you want. And if you get a little bit of blue in there, it's okay, because it will kind of make it look like snow more if you have a little bit of blue. Let's actually grab a few little things of blue, and then we're going to blend them in. Blend that all in to make it look like snow. Yeah, see? And I'm doing it kind of thick because it is like, I want it to be like snow. Yeah, that just makes it look like there's some snow drifts or some texture in the snow. And I'm going to do my edges all white. So now I'm going to do the road. So I'm going to mix black and white together to get a gray, but I'm going to start with white and then just add a tiny, tiny, tiny. And you really don't need much. Yep, that's looking pretty good. I might even make it lighter. There, that's better. Okay, so it's pretty light. I used mainly white with a tiny bit of black. And then I'm going to do the same thing where I go around the car. Doesn't matter if you go over some of the parts. And then I'm going to go the direction that the road would be going. So back and forth like this. And I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to paint my edges just until there. Just to where the snow is. And then since we're working with gray, we're going to do the bumper. And the bumper, we're going to do like a darker gray. I'm going to use a smaller brush. So I have this sort of darker gray that I had mixed before I added more water. So yeah, I'm going to use that one. Just make sure it's a different color. I'm going to fill that up. Might even make it a little darker by adding a little bit of black. I kind of want it to stand out more. There, that's better. You could also make this black if you want, but I kind of think it looks better gray. Great. And then while we have this dark color out, we might as well do the tires, which are just black for now. And then later we're going to put some little squiggles in them to make them look more like tires. Starting to look like a car. That's great. Okay, and then while it's still wet, I'm going to take this sort of darker gray, add some more black to it, and I'm just going to put a few little lines so it looks like it's moving on the road. And then I'm going to take some of the color that is the road, and I'll blend that in. Just blend those in so it looks more like it's part of, there, that looks good. I'm gonna go get some clean water, and then I'm gonna do the white in here, inside of this window here, and then later we're gonna put little kind of marks in it to make it look like it's a window. Okay, actually we can do that now. I'm gonna take some gray. I'm just gonna go do some kind of squiggles. That looks great. Since we're still working with gray kind of, I'm gonna take this sort of white And I'm just gonna make little dashes on either side. Makes it look like a tire. I'm just doing dashes like that. Great. I could go over it again later. So now I'm going to paint the car, and I'm going to paint my car red. You can paint your car any color you want. So I'm just gonna cover everything except for the heart and the license plate. I'm gonna try and go around those and the lights. So now we're going to make a darker red. Now you could use a tiny little bit of black to make it darker, but what I do is I use the complementary color. So that's the color that's opposite on the color wheel. So I'm going to take green and red, or complementary colors. So I take the tiniest little bit of green, and just take a tiny little bit and keep adding until I have sort of a darker red. Okay, so now what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to put it around the edges. So wherever there's a line, I'm going to paint with a bit of a darker red. So I'm just going to sort of outline everything. Like that. Up here, it's kind of harder to do, so you can just do a little bit. Put some strokes of sort of the darker one up here. Great. And then what you have to do is blend it in. So I'm going to clean my brush and go into the regular red again. And now I'm just going to go over those lines and kind of blend it in a little bit. So I'm just kind of going in like that. So you can see that you're getting some darker areas, and it makes it kind of look 3D. Just kind of blending it in, but you don't want it all to be dark. Like so. So because I want this to look more like a Valentine kind of painting, I'm going to do my trees in pink. Now you can do your trees in green if you want, but I think I'm going to do pink just for fun. So I'm going to make a pink by mixing a little bit of red with lots of white. More white. There. I got a ton of white there, and I'm going to add a little bit more red, make it sort of a darker pink, because we're going to put snow on top of it, so you want the pink to be a good, nice bright color. Let's see what it looks like. If I don't like it, I could always go over it later. I think that's going to be fun. Why not? And just go flick, 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 like that. Great. And same on the other side. And since we have pink, we might as well do some other things pink. I'm going to do the hearts. And we lost the outlines, but we can get them back again once it's dry. I think I'll do them all pink. Why not? Because we have a lot of red already with the car. And then we're going to add like a little white little swoosh into the balloons. Make them look like balloons. So I'm going to get some white on a smaller brush. Do a little swoop. Like that. I'm going to do this one pink. There. Maybe I'll do the license plate pink too. Why not? Very fun. So as you can see, I started adding some snow onto the bumper here. So I'm just going, I'm doing wiggly wiggly. I'm doing some higher, some lower. And I'm using pretty thick white paint with a thin brush. Just going along here. Okay, and then you can add snow in other places if you want. How about we do the trees? So let's see if we're liking these pink trees once we add some snow detail. Yeah, I like that. That's fun. So I'm just not doing the whole tree, but I'm just adding some snow on. I'm going just back and forth. And I'm kind of flicking from the center. Yeah, that looks good. Just like that. Yeah, that looks cute. And then we can add some extra details. I think we might have done a little bit of this, but I covered up some of it again. So I'm just going to do like a swipe in here with a thinner brush. I think when I showed you the last time I was using a thicker brush. There, that looks better. And then we can do sort of some just some marks like this, just to add some fun sort of details to the car. It's not really snow, it's just more sort of highlights like that. That's great. Just sort of around the edges, do some swoops. Now I'm going to add some snow. So I'm going to dip my paintbrush. I have a thin one in paint, and I'm just going to dab it on. And after about 2 or 3 times, you have to dip in again to your paint. See how that really adds to it now. Love it. That's great. I feel like the road kind of just needs a little bit of white on there just to break up these lines a bit. And if you want, you can add a few more little lines to the tires. Felt like they needed some more. I'm gonna fill my lights in with yellow, but you're welcome. If you don't have yellow, you can kind of use pink, or like if you don't want to add in a new color, you can use pink for there, which would be kind of cute as well. That looks good. So let's do the trunks with some brown. Like so. This is pretty dark brown. I'm just kind of doing strokes. Like so. And you can kind of maybe do a little bit through the center. Just kind of dab it if you want around everything. Here's my finished painting. You can see I outlined the balloons again, and I just outlined some things, some of the lines that got lost with the paint. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you enjoyed this lesson, make sure you like and subscribe for more art lessons.